Wine, do you really want to save me from falling, Jungkook? Jungkook kept his arm around her, holding her securely. Did he want to save her? Was he ready for this? Wasn't he looking for her for 2 years now? Keeping aside Wine, Jungkook himself believed he was too young for marriage. They were the peak years of his life. His business was doing as good as it could ever in the market. He needed to strengthen its root in the ground so no one could ever shake it. He originally had his plans of marrying in his late 20s or early 30s, but after looking for her for over 2 years, was he really ready to let go of this chance? I don't wish to be saved. I am willing to do it myself. Ryan said once she didn't receive an answer. You don't have to do anything more than you have already done. You might not believe it, but no one has ever treated me this way before, and I already owe you a lot for this. Jungkook, you don't owe me anything, Ryan. If you're willing to hold my hand, I will never let go of it. Ryan, you don't have to take pity on me. Jungkook, we need to learn each other better. If you knew me a little bit, you would know I don't do things out of pity, and if I agree to something, I do it till my last breath. Ryan, is this something successful people do? A smile appeared on Jungkook's lips at that. Behind that depressed soul, there was a lively girl begging to set free. Jungkook, it's something people with morals do. Ryan slowly pulled back and turned towards the ocean. Ryan, you're too nice for this, Jungkook. You deserve one of a kind. The one who looks good beside you and who can handle this relation with maturity. Not me. I can never. Jungkook, you have one more day with me. We can decide after that. Now don't put too much pressure on your brain. I brought you here to relax. When Ryan returned home that night, she had a long session with her parents as always. Even if they knew where she was, thanks to the guards they put after her, they still had to ask every detail from her. She didn't tell them their conversation, but overall details about where they went and what they ate. When she returned to her room, getting pissed at the amount of questions thrown her way, she couldn't believe how quickly her heart got back to their calm state. The darkness of the room, the little light coming from the mirror LED, and the snippets of the night. Life taught her a lot of things, and one of them was to never believe the smiling faces and nice behaviors. The society she lived in, people were always dressed as the most expensive humans, wearing kindest smiles and behaving the most mannered, but they wouldn't think twice before stabbing you in your back. Jungkook felt like home. He felt like he never belonged to this world. Like, how could someone hold this much power to drive her insane within a night? She almost said yes to him. She was trying to ask him to take her hand and run away. He made her risk it all. She couldn't sleep that night. Even if she was so calm, the pressure was still a lot. She wanted to be selfish, but another part of her was warning her to not get hurt. There was another part which didn't want to drag Jungkook into her mess. He must have his own plans in life. The next time the two met, she was wearing much casual outfit. She was ready to fit herself in a dress and heels, but was surprised when her mother told her, "Your date asked you to dress casually." And she gave her a suspicious look, which Ryan did a great job ignoring. Wine stepped out and found Jungkook waiting in front of his car, busy on his phone. It was his beauty that could never be appreciated enough. The hair partition, the chiseled cheekbones, the sharp features, and the cute mole under his lip. He had a tall, lean figure, and Wine wondered if he wanted, he could pass for a supermodel. Wine cleared her throat. Hi. Jungkook looked at her, putting his cell phone back in his pockets. Jungkook, you look better being yourself. Wine, you can flirt pretty well. She took a seat once Jungkook had opened the door of his McLaren for her. Once the two settled down, he drove away. Jungkook, tell me where do you want to go? I will take you there this time. The two went to the franchise where Wine worked. She wanted to give him snippets of her life before he decides to hold her hand. They passed by her college and the university where she was aiming to study from. Once the sun had set, the two stood at the rooftop of a very high building, per her request. She told him she liked this view where she could look at the whole city, sparkling with lights like stars spread across the sky. Wine, I don't have a window in my room. Jungkook swore it was the first time he saw her eyes sparkling as she stood near the edge, admiring the view of the lit up skyscrapers and roads. Wine, that's my dream. To have my own apartment in one of those buildings where I can have this view every day. That's where I want to start. Jungkook, you have already started it. Let me stay here and cheer for you till you're out of this and stand at a point where no one can hurt you anymore. Vine turned towards him, the sparkle in her eyes reflecting a whole galaxy. She took a deep breath. Just looking at him provided her peace she could never find in anywhere. Vine, my parents always considered me a burden. I was bullied in school. They once drowned me in sink and water filled up my lungs. Doctor said it's a miracle I survived. I consider it a nightmare. Wine. I had too many scars on my body at that point. I thought they would never go away. When I went to homeroom teacher and showed them everything, he said, I'm still alive, so it's not considered violence. Wine. You know what he said? Can friends play with each other now? My parents would never care even if they found me dead. I always bought myself my meals and my clothes. I studied on scholarship and slept 4 hours a day for years. Even till last year, I prayed for support or affection from my parents, but I don't want it anymore. I just don't crave it. I want to run away somewhere and never see them again. She took a seat, crossing her legs, getting comfortable, and her eyes shifted towards the ethereal view, and so Jungkook did. Taking a seat beside her, listened to her silently. One, my mom tied me up to a chair and hit me with bells when I was 8 because I ruined her sleep at 3 a.m. when I was scared of the thunder. I can stop the violence. I can run away from there. One, they have guards and police working under them. When I proved no benefit for them, they decided to marry me off to a tribal son and expand their business that way. At least I will be out of their way then. Jungkook looked at her. She had no emotions that reflected any kind of pain, just those emotionless eyes that lost their sparkles by that point. The galaxy lost somewhere which he was determined to bring back. Wine, step back, Jungkook. You're not meant for this. I couldn't even believe you're this nice. You're supposed to have pride, be cunning, be violent, or everything done by everyone I have met. I was raised by Martha, Jungkook said. My parents always stayed abroad. Martha works for us. She is in her 60s by now, but raised me like a mother. She is the kindest soul I've ever met. And if you think I'm a nice person, even a little bit, then all credit goes to her. Wine. She must be a great woman. Jungkook. Wine, look at me. Wine did. Turned her head towards him and almost flinched at how close he was to her. His hand rested against her cheek, feather touch, so soft and so right. She felt her heartbeat increasing at every inch he leaned towards her. Jungkook, I'm going to kiss you. Stop me if you don't want it. To be continued.